が使えるので、王子のお手伝いをしたんです。
じゃあ、
よく耐えたものだ。
兄上。
ルーク。アリシア。
The unneeded episode number 13 of I'll Become a Villainess That Will Go Down in History. What's going on, my friends? Happy and very Merry Christmas. I hope you guys had a amazing Christmas with you and your families. I hope Santa brought you everything that you guys wanted to get. Let's talk through the ending episode, which is late from me, so apologies for having this being late. Spent time with the family over the past couple of days, didn't have time to get to it, so I'm getting to it now, the day after Christmas. But that's all she wrote for I'll Become a Villainess, episode 13. Some may call it the unneeded episode number 13. But obviously this show wants to kick the door open and wants to have a season 2. And hey, I hope that you are there to support it. I don't think I'll be. But, you know, hey, I know that there's people that are fans of this show. Now, here's what I'm going to say, guys, is I didn't very much like this episode. I didn't very much like the ending. But let me just stop there and let me say, hey, if you really enjoyed episode 13, if you really enjoyed the finale to the show, more power to you. You know, I think there's a lot of good here in this show. There's a lot of good to be liked. There's a lot of good stuff here. And hey, even for episode number 13, I think there's a lot of good stuff in the episode as well. So let's talk through the good stuff, right? Let's talk through the good feelings, right? Let's do good stuff. Let's do the good stuff, right? So first off, I think Liz is a big standout. You know, I think if you really liked Liz, I think that she had her redemption arc, her redemption story. I think that Liz did a 180 here. She flipped it around, and not only did she go and we found out more info about her, right? She's been holed up. She's been figuring out her charm magic. She visited Alicia. You know, she tried to get on Alicia's good side, like, hey, how dare you leave me when I'm just figuring this stuff out? Like, you're supposed to be my rival, whatever. Like, I'll figure this out for you, you know? And she was the one that kind of had Alicia put the pieces together. Like, no. Alicia's like, nah, I know who's doing all this orchestrating. I know whose trap I'm falling into. You know, she kind of was there to put the pieces together and help Alicia. So if you were a Liz hater like myself, you know, I can see us turning around here and saying, okay, Liz, not so bad. And she was even there at the end of the episode to help Prince Duke out as well, with, you know, getting the barrier down for Rowana, the place that had all the mist, okay? So I think that was a big plus. The freedom of all the people of the Rowana village or whatever, that's a huge plus. They're now free. The brothers, you know, the two brothers got to, you know, officially, you know, make amends, and the people of that village got to be set free. And Liz got to play the part of the savior there. I think that's good stuff. The flower, okay? We found out that, hey, on Alicia's 7th birthday, there was a black flower that bloomed, and this is the flower that dictates the determination of how the kingdom, like basically the one who controls the kingdom's fate. That was the flower that bloomed, and we found out that, hey, the best person is actually Alicia's mom. Okay, so Alicia's mom was the hidden best character the whole time, and she's been hiding it, or she's been, you know, taking care of said flower since she was a little girl. So yeah, so there's that. And maybe the last good thing that I'll say is, you know, hey, if you want more, if you crave more of this show, if you just absolutely love Prince Duke, or maybe really love Alicia, you're like, oh, I just want to see her. I want to see her do the DLC now, you know, which, hey, I'm gagging, but there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, there's, you know, I'm Joshua, but there's nothing wrong with that. If you really like it, then I think that, hey, that door's wide open. If the studio gets some budget behind it and there's enough clamor for more, all good. Okay, that's where the good train stops. You want to stop the video there? Hey, you know what? decent show, decent viewing. Wasn't a complete waste of time. I would say this was a good 6.5 out of 10 show. Nothing wrong with that. Really respectable. Lots of ups. Lots of ups. And there's some downs too. Lots of downs too. But hey, you want to stop it there. All right. On the opposite side, all right, my friend. Hey, if you want to stop the good train, thank you for joining me in the fall season. I'll see you in the winter. Check out my winter videos coming soon. All right. Now, everything else. I think this was shifting gears here. I think this was a complete waste. I think the show would have really benefited from. I talked about it last week, but I'll say it again. I think the show would have really benefited from ending last week on episode number 12. I think that this isn't a show that's going to have long legs behind it. I don't think that the storytelling, outside of just the antics between the characters, I don't think the actual plot and world and everything that surrounds Alicia as a character, I don't think are very good. And outside of Alicia, Liz, Gil, and Prince Duke, the rest of the surrounding characters really aren't very good. That includes the brothers, the other love interests. They're not like, that's not very good. The kingdom story about the flowers aren't very, like, all the stuff isn't really realized and good enough. It's especially not good enough to now take us to another kingdom for this whole big old plot, this other now plot to take charge of, to where they're going to show us this fancy slideshow of a bunch of characters, like, oh, here's what's coming in the DLC, here's what's coming to season 2. It's just not good. It sucks. So, I really think the show would have benefited more of a strong ending. I really think last week would have been better for them to end last week. And I know it doesn't follow the author's story, it doesn't follow the blah, 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 blah. But I'm just saying, like, I think as a viewer, I would have felt much more rewarded if we ended last week and we just, like, okay, Prince Duke and Alicia kiss or something, and we then, like, give us a little flash forward to Liz being the saint, and then the villain over here but's accomplished some stuff, and just little flashes. I think it would have been better served to kind of end with last week's wins, as opposed to now we transition this week, and here's things that sucked. First off, the whole Prince Duke faking his memory loss, but not actually losing his memory, but he just wants to give Alicia what she wants. Okay, that's doo-doo. The fact that we never really knew what Alicia truly wanted, but Prince Duke did. So how does the viewers not really know what Alicia wants? Which, really the whole time it's just to be the villainess, be the baddest bad, be the baddest baddie of them all. But it was never really conveyed to us as a viewer of, like, here's her thought out plan. But the show kind of expected us to, like, know, like, oh, didn't you know she wanted to go to Laval and play the DLC and be a bigger part of the villain story? No, we didn't know shit. It was never explained to us. So the fact that the show kind of expects us to know all that is garbage writing. I'm very sorry to say. It's absolute dog shit. So there's that. The third thing is there's convenience. She's a third flower. Okay. Again, cute, but just super convenient and just like, okay, whatever then. That means that she could have just loved Duke and they could just be happily ever after. Okay, fourth, I'm going to go back to the Laval thing. A couple of things wrong with that. One, she gets transferred peacefully over there. Apparently, I guess this kingdom may have, I don't know, she's going to go be a spy or something for the kingdom. Maybe the kingdom's story is that it gets threatened about this other kingdom, and the only way that she can go infiltrate the kingdom, fourth thing, we're on the fourth thing, by the way, the only way she can infiltrate this other kingdom is to be exiled and to be like a prisoner of war kind of thing. But then that makes no sense, because can't just anybody be a spy? Unless this other kingdom only takes like extradited people or something, but then that would just be a kingdom of criminals and people with lost homes. Big effing question mark there. Because, couldn't she just go and become a citizen there and just be like, oh, well, aren't you part of that other kingdom? Yeah, but I left there like normal people do. I moved. I wanted to come here. Does she have to be this extradited person in that, like, starting from the bottom? And maybe that's the point. Fifth thing, the whole Laval transfer, Laval microphone. The whole transfer is, okay, she goes by a nice carriage and she's well taken care of. But then all of a sudden, when she gets to the gate of the kingdom, she's put in like prisoner garb with like a, I don't even know what she had, bandages over her eye with bandages over her eye and then chained up, you know? So it's like, if you were giving her to this kingdom, it just I just don't understand where that writing is. And maybe, I don't know, you know, whatever, right? And if the kingdom's a threat, why? Why is the kingdom a threat? Why does she need to go there? Why does she think she needs to go there? And then the ultimate goal seems to come back to then, she had that cute moment like, oh, I'll come back at the village. I'll charm you. I'll charm you, Pithuk. It's like, okay, so if your ultimate goal is to just come back to be lovey-dovey with the prince, just skip it. Just be lovey-dovey with the prince now. Have them figure it out. Or if the ultimate goal is just to remove yourself from the main plot of the story or whatever and not play through the DLC, then just move? You know? So it's just do writing. It's just not very good. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I think this episode is a piece of garbage. I think again, I like the Liz stuff, okay? I wish that we had more time to explore Liz's now new changed demeanor, outlook on life. I like the fact that we found out the mom's a badass. I wish we had more time to maybe some flashbacks or something to her, how mom's been like the ultimate person behind the scenes of Alicia the whole time. I think that's a really cool thing. Then third, I think that if they wanted us to care more about the ongoings of the kingdom and, you know, plot lines and bigger, you know, kingdom war, and like they should have taken less time doing all the boring stuff, because there was frankly boring stuff. They should have taken that time and just explained more about why we should care about all those other things. So anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys in those thoughts. This was a long ass video. I'm gonna cut it here because I could probably talk a little bit more about it, but I don't want to because I want to post a 15 or 20 minute video for the finale. So just say here, this has been a pretty decent anime, pretty decent to good anime. I think I'm going to end up at a 6.5 out of 10. I think that's more than fair and more than gracious. If you guys look at, you know, my anime list or live chart, you see the other animes that are listed about 6.5. You'll probably go, you'll gasp at how many really good anime there are there. So I think 6.5 is more than generous. And I think the ending wasn't very good. And if it does get a season 2, I won't be around for it because I have no interest on what happens next with the story. So unlike a lot of other villainous animes I absolutely love, this is one that I'll just say, hey, I gave it a shot. You know what I mean? I tried the food, just not for me. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you guys those thoughts. It's been awesome all fall, all winter, whatever we're on now. I'll see you guys this next season. I think we're transitioning. I keep saying spring, but I think we're transitioning to fall into winter anime. So I'll see you guys for winter anime, and we'll talk about what's coming soon. All right, one love. Merry Christmas.